Hello again, it's Retro Games Revived and welcome to another episode. And in this episode, basically, I'm just going to show you my retro joystick collection. It's not massive, mainly Quickshots and Spectravideos, those type of joysticks, with some other quirky and different ones thrown in for good measure. I was buying quite a lot of these joysticks at one point, with varying success. Most of them, they are quite easy to repair, they're very minimal inside, the circuitry is nice and big, the solder joints are nice and big to change, unlike the modern controllers where you basically have to use more of a heat gun rather than soldering iron. But yeah, I've had quite a bit of success. I've thrown the odd one or two away, which for one reason or another just weren't repairable. But I like the old joysticks, you know, the simple up, down, left, right and fire, and that was how it was back mainly the 8-bit era. The joysticks I have do mainly cover the 8-bit era. Some of the joysticks can be used on 16-bit machines like Amiga and Atari ST. The latest one I've got in my small collection is a PlayStation controller, not the box standard controller, but a quirky one, which I'll show you in a bit. So I'm going to start off with the oldest joysticks that I've got. That's these two little guys here. Now, I'm not actually sure what games console, game system these are actually for. I can't actually remember where I got them from, whether it were part of a job lot and they just sat in there in a box. They were really tatty when I got them. I've cleaned them up. Luckily, let me just put them down. Luckily, these rubber seals here are still very much intact. They were grimy and dirty to start with, but I've cleaned them up. A lot of these rubber seals from these old joysticks can tend to get moved about a lot. There's a bit of stress involved and they do tear and rip. Thankfully these are fine. At first I did think that it was off something like a Binatone or a grandstand, something like that. But I think they're a little bit more advanced than that. Well, especially the Binatones, they were just mainly a paddle really, just to move the bats on screen. Where this has got up, down, left, right and fire buttons, so it's more akin to a console such as the Atari 2600. It uses a 7-pin connector. So if anybody's got any ideas what that's from, there's nothing underneath which tells you. Please do let me know. I'm intrigued to find out myself actually. So on to the next one. Next we're going a little bit later and we're going up to the 8-bit computers, and Quickshot was an high profile joystick manufacturer, and well, it won't be a collection without one of them. So let's get the next one. So as you can see, it's a standard Quickshot joystick. These all use how can I put it, like contacts. It's like a little I'm not sure if it's concave or convex, little metal pad, and basically when you push up on the joystick, it's got a little plastic pin on the base of that pushes down on the little metal pad and makes a connection on the circuit board, and that basically tells the computer you press it up, you know, as with left, right, down. The fire buttons are exactly the same. They use a contact pad can always feel if these are working nicely with the sound. That old familiar sound from old 8-bit joysticks. They're quite easy to repair I should say. But what tends to happen is that they're stuck down with like tape of these little contacts, and a lot of the time what happens is the plastic spike that pushes on the contact, it breaks through the tape and it just deteriorates the tape a little bit and deteriorates the pressure on the pad, the springiness if you like. And it's easily done with, I use sticky back plastic. It's quite a thick sticky tape if you like. I can cut it to the size I want. I've got a massive roll of it somewhere, and I've hardly used any of it because you're only using a tiny amount each time you repair a contact. I mean, these stand up well to the test of time, really. I mean, imagine these used to get some hammer, and that still feels really sturdy. So, and I've cleaned it up, and to get that shine, I use this product, and it's just a carvalling spray called Bumper Shine for plastics. I believe you can get another type that's called Back to Black, and that's what I use. A little bit on a rag and then onto the joystick. Not too much because it can create a greasy film over the joystick. I mean, I did all these joysticks and they've been bagged up for quite a while now, and they're still nice and shiny. That's the Quickshot. So what we have here is, well, it's an easy mistake to think that, yeah, you've got another Quickshot in your hand there. They're exactly the same design, but this one is Spectravideo. I'm not sure, and I haven't done my research, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if Spectravideo and Quickshot are exactly the same company and they've just, you know, maybe one bought the other one out and just used the same design. Exactly the same, it's just the same design inside and out. There's nothing else to tell. Oh, one feature these have is an auto fire, which was a godsend back in days at 8-bit shoot 'em ups. We having to press that like that. Nothing else much to say about that other than it's exactly, pretty much, well, it is exactly the same as the Quickshot, albeit in name. So I've got 3 of these Spectravideos. I've only got the one Quickshot. Price wise, you're looking at about £15 to £20 now for these. They're still in abundance, but you know, it's the quality of them. I've been lucky. I picked these up ages ago. I've had these years now. I'm not saying I won't buy any more, but at the moment they're not really on my priority list. I've got a decent enough little collection, so it's not like I'm getting my Commodore 64 out all the time. Quite rare really that I do get it out, so they're not getting any use. But it's nice to know that I've got them. Anyway, that's the Spectravideo, that's one of 3. Next we have this one. And there's, it just says joystick. No manufacturer name on or nothing. It's a lot thinner than the Quickshots. It's just like a block at the bottom. This one has a fire button on top. Doesn't sound responsive, but it is. I have tested it. And then there's a fire button there. That one has got the iconic sound. That one though hasn't. But like I say, I have tested it. I've got a little joystick tester. It's boxed away somewhere. Again, it was bought off eBay just for a couple of pounds, and basically all it is a little circuit board with 5 lights, and it just runs off a 9-volt battery, the little square ones, and you plug the end into the little circuit board, and then when you press up, if there's a contact made, it lights up, respectively the left, right, down, and the fire buttons. These fire buttons are linked to the same circuit, so you know, pressing either or will work that one fire button. Like I say, I have no idea what make it is, it just says joystick. So that's that one. Now, second to Quickshot was another popular manufacturer of joysticks, and that was Cheetah. And at the time, you know, on Playground it could be argued that they were the better joysticks than the Quickshots. I never really had a favourite. I tell a lie, I do tell a lie, and I'm coming to one soon. But in the early days, I'd like to say I never really had a favourite. End of the day, if it moved the characters on the screen, that's what mattered. This is a Cheetah, and it's very similar to the Quickshot, except slightly more rounded and ergonomically designed, I'd say. The game was still on pressure pads, contact pads. There's not that iconic click with these ones though, on this specific Cheetah model, and that's a shame. It's because it does almost feel like that it's dodgy. To be honest, it feels like that there's no contact being made. There is. It's been tested. The auto fire is at the front there, rather than at the back on the quick shots. One thing I forgot to mention: most joysticks of back then had suckers. You know, to stick down to the table, get stuck on there, and then Daily Thompson's decathlon. I imagine many gamers went through many joysticks because of breakage. But yeah, that's the Cheetah 125 Plus. Cheetah did go on to evolve with microswitch, which I'll explain soon. But this must be an earlier model. But anyway, that's a Cheetah 125 Plus. Now this one could be said that it's more of a favourite from the 16-bit era, the Amigas and Atari STs. And this is the Pro Competition. They were very, very popular with these. Very popular for, like I said, the Amiga. I had many of these for Amiga, all different colours, black and yellow, and that has got the micro switch, except for the fire buttons. If I can remember rightly, they're just I can't remember if they are micro switch. There's not that distinct clicking that you get. Sorry, I can't quite remember what system's under that. But these were popular, and these actually do demand a fairly high price tag if you want to buy these off eBay. You can get them in like clear casing, or translucent casing I should say, different colours. This one of mine, this is the only one I've got. If you look, it's not quite perfect, unfortunately. That shaft there, it just will not sit snug to that collar, and I've tried everything. I believe the shaft is slightly bent. The only way I could think of actually straightening it back would be to heat it up, but I wasn't going to risk that. I'm not that confident doing that, so I've left it as it is. Like I said, it's a shame it's not perfect. At the end of the day, a collection piece, it's not doing anything. It's not actually, I don't think I've actually played any games with it. I've run it on the joystick tester, everything's working, and that's good enough for me. So that's the Pro Competition one. Now this next one's a little bit of a quirky one. It's a Quickshot, but it's not like the Quickshot I showed you earlier. In fact, it's more like a pad. That's your controller. These are your 5 buttons. That's got the distinct click. When it is actually plugged in, and you press 5 buttons, there's 2 little lights here, LED lights, and they light up, showing you which button's being pressed. I'm not really sure what purpose that'd serve, to be honest, but it's not brilliant. It's a bit awkward to handle, actually. I don't think I'd be able to play with that very long on a game. It's just a quirky thing. But anyway, that's that one. This next one is it's one of the like later design joysticks, where it's more reminiscent of a gun, and the joystick's on top. It's micro switch. The 5 button is just sat behind, so it's basically like a gun. And these are quite comfortable, actually. I've not really give this as much of a test, other than through the joystick tester. So I'm not sure how it'd feel for prolonged use. It feels comfortable short term, in all honesty. It's ideal for left-hand, right-handed people. I'm right-handed, by the way, which would mean the joystick's holding that. The handle's held in the left hand, and the joystick's moved to the right. That's how I would do it. That's a Magnum from Mastertronic. Mastertronic obviously were a prolific software publisher for their Spectrum, Commodore, Amstrad and what have you. Obviously this was the foray into joysticks, and not a bad little effort, actually. Mastertronic. It's a nice looking one as well. You've got 3 colours, black, blue and red. This one ain't too bad a joystick, however it's not as good as this one. Now we're talking. Probably one of the most, in my opinion anyway, one of the most comfortable joysticks ever created for the 8-bit on computers, obviously. It's the Konix Speed King. It's so well designed. Your hand sits around the base, nice rounded base. Your hand sits underneath with one of these 2 fingers on the 5 button, and which one you're more comfortable with. And then obviously the joystick on top, like similar to the previous one I've just shown you. But this one just feels a lot more comfortable. It always has done. And these were very, very popular at the time. You know, and we could go a full video talking about the console that Konix designed, and we're going to send out there. That would have been a massive game changer if that had pulled off. Ooh. It would probably have gone down in history as the greatest console ever created, the Konix console. It had such ambitious ideas with it, with a steering wheel, force feedback. I think the wheel would configure into handlebars, and even I think they were even, I'm not sure if it were part of the steering wheel, but like a plain joystick yoke. It looked fantastic, and the demos that they were reeling out at the time showed it to be somewhat completely out of the league of anything like the Spectrum, Commodore and Amstrad. But it wanted to be. And all you retro gaming experts obviously know what I'm talking about, but to those who don't, Google it and you'll be surprised at how cutting edge and advanced it was for its time. Like we could do a full video on that alone, but we're not, because this isn't about that. But yeah, Konix were the people responsible for what I was just talking about, and they're responsible for one of the greatest joysticks ever created, Konix Speed King. Right, we're coming more up to date now. We've moved on now from the 8-bit computers, and we're on to 8-bit consoles, and pretty familiar for everybody is the Sega Master System control pad, or the D-pad, directional pad. And this is actually a newer model, and the way you can tell that is this here, this centre bit. The original control pads had an hole with a thread, and you could, I don't know if the D-pads came with it, but they had like a little screw-in joystick. You could use that D-pad more like a joystick, a little joystick. They're only a plastic thing that's screwed in on top. I think they must be pretty rare now, because especially if they've still got the little joystick. But I'm sure the first Master System I ever got had one. But obviously this one, this is a later edition. They did away. It must have been too fiddly, always getting lost. Some people would say the NES control pad is more iconic than this Master System, which came later, and I couldn't disagree with you, unfortunately. For me, the colour of it, for starters, is a lot nicer, and in my opinion, I just think it is a nicer design than the NES D-pad. I just like it. There is mods online that you can do with these D-pads. I know of one particular guy on his YouTube channel. He put a pause button in up here somewhere, just a little micro switch button. Might have been for the Master System 2 though, I'm not sure. But I have seen a mod where somebody's added a pause button on here on the D-pad of the Master System. So I've got 2 of these at the moment, 2 spares. Let's get a bit more up to date on the next one. So, sticking with Sega. I say Sega, I know really it's Sega, but I've always said Sega. The next generation from the Master System was the Mega Drive, and obviously we've got the usual Mega Drive pad here. To be fair, it's a brilliant one. It's a brilliant D-pad. Control pad, as they call it. Everything just feels so fluent with it. It's got that distinct sound as the Mega Drive. 5 buttons. The D-pad's nice and fluid. They did do little different design touches on these, like the button there. On some it's red, on some it's blue. I believe these white decals here, on some D-pads it's red. There's an handful of different designs of official Mega Drive controllers, so I'm not sure how many different types I've got. I've got a few Mega Drives. I've got another one sat down here, another spare. That's got the blue button there. The white decals, but the blue button. So that's the Mega Drive one. So let's move even further into the future, and everybody knows what this joystick is. It's the Nintendo 64. This is the gold one. I'll be quite honest, I'm not a hater of Nintendo, but I'm not the biggest fan. I've always been in the Sega camp, growing up when there were the console wars with Nintendo and Sega, and I was stalwart Sega. Obviously, as I've got older, you know, I'll pass the silliness of the console wars and respect all manufacturers, including Nintendo. As I know recently there's this hoo-ha about Super Mario or Mario Brothers on the Commodore 64. Nintendo have had it taken off, and I know this is slightly off topic from the joystick, but that really grates me. You know, what harm is it doing to Nintendo? It's doing absolutely not, and it's petty. It really is petty. Sorry, Nintendo, but come on, pick your ball back up. In my opinion, Nintendo should be looking at it and saying, wow, that's pretty amazing. What you've done there is pretty amazing. Give him a job, you know. But anyway, I'm digressing from the joystick. Like I said, I'm not an hater of Nintendo. I won't go as far to say, oh, I hate you, detest you. I'm just not a big lover of them. And what I'm basically getting at is, I've no idea what this is from, because I don't really follow much Nintendo, and I'm not particularly a big collector of Nintendo, if I'm honest. So, was this part of a console pack? Is it a limited edition? Is it rare? If only. No. It's not in the best condition. I don't know that. There's a few scratches here. The trouble with such as these joysticks is they're sprayed. The plastic obviously isn't gold. It's probably grey underneath and it's been sprayed. So normally I'd get the magic eraser like PlayStation controllers. The plastic is that colour, so you can grind it down a bit, you can wear it down a bit and get rid of them scratches and marks, scuffs. But you can't with this, it's sprayed, so if I start scratching there, I'm going to scratch the gold off. It's unfortunate, but that's how they get these fancy joysticks and whatever, fancy colours. The trouble with these Nintendo 64 controls is this little joystick here. Inside, it's basically plastic, rubbing on plastic, and when you strip these down, you'll find that inside that turret, if you like, you'll get a lot of white powder. Basically, it's ground up plastic, and over time, as it wears it away, this becomes really loose. And you know, you could even tilt it to the side and it'd flop down on some of them. I have had some of these controls in the past, and that has been kaput. Luckily, you can buy these internal parts from eBay. I'm not sure how much they are. I mean, I haven't bought or done anything with Nintendo control for a long time. But you can buy the parts for them. I would imagine it'd be relatively cheap. They're just plastic. So, but yes, any information, please help me out. That's the Nintendo 64 controller, gold edition. So I've got one more controller to show you, which is this one. PlayStation 1, well, it is retro. End of the day, you know, it's an old games console now. It's hard to believe actually. 94 was it? 94. So it's 24 year old. 25 this year, sorry. That's really scary actually, because I remember getting the first PlayStation. But it's only really recently that I've ever come across this. And it's the iPad. Completely quirky, unusual, probably completely useless, but it's just so weird, and I have not got a clue what to do with it. Is it motion censored? Does it act as a steering wheel? iPad. I mean, there's this great big it's like the Death Star, doesn't it? I've no idea. But yeah, it's just so bizarre. I haven't even tried it, to be honest. I haven't even tested it. I've stripped it down and cleaned it up. Quite unusual inside, if I remember rightly. I'm sure it is censored. I'm sure it's a motion sensor type of controller. I can't imagine what on earth you'd use that for, what game you could actually play that comfortably. I don't know if it was made for a specific game actually. Did it come bundled with a game? Anyway, I should know better really. I'm a collector, I should know better. I should do my research, but with this one I'm afraid to say I'm being a bit lazy. I have no idea what it's for. That's my little collection of old retro gaming joysticks, joypads. Obviously, I mean, I've got Dreamcast joypads and Xbox, stuff like that, but they're all just the generic controller, so there's no point showing you them. It was mainly the older types and the more quirkier joysticks that I have. I probably would like a bigger collection, to be honest, of old 8-bit joysticks. But again, with collecting, you know, you start on one thing and then you fork off and you've got, oh, to collect this as well, and then before you know it you're forking off again, and then you're just like a tree. You've just got so many branches, you've just got so many things you want to collect for. I'm by no means rich at all, so I can't afford to buy everything, and I have even considered getting rid of all my Nintendo stuff. Is that controversial? I don't know, I haven't got that many Nintendo stuff anyway, and I think to myself, I could use the space for stuff that I really am interested in. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Other collectors, how do you work it? Do you just think, well, I'll buy what I see, what I fancy, or have you got like a game plan, if you like? Stick to this, stick to that, and that's it. Because I'll be honest, sometimes I can't make my mind up. I'm like, I want to collect for everything, but I just can't afford to. I ain't got the space. So anyway, I'm rambling on again, as I usually do. But yeah, that's me little joystick collection, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. And until the next video, see you later.